I did these next two videos before I went to the gym, and I'm set to release them later. And as I'm thinking about all of the stories that I've read today from women that personally typed up stories to me, to the stories that I was tagged in, to this story from Shayna Condi that I watched on her page, it's just so evident. It's so evident that women need community, and we need to be there for each other. We need to keep our heads on a swivel. You know, so many times people come for the feminist, and they're coming for the feminist because they know that if women have the opportunity, the money to just peace out when we see red flags, when we see abuse or feel abuse, that loosens their stranglehold. They cannot stand child-free women because they are not anchored down by men. They cannot stand free women that can just get up and go travel. Like what Shayna Condi was talking about on her video, and I'll put it in my video. I'm going to embed it in the description because I want you all to go support her. I'm listening to her. I'm seeing all these news stories. I'm reading all these stories from women, and I just don't know what to do. It's like we have to just keep talking. There's so much deprogramming us women have to do to where we're no longer like so trusting. We can't trust anybody except ourselves. And like you have to be ready to just leave. It makes me so mad what women go through. Anyways, check out these next two stories. It's just a reminder to keep your finances together, get your education, talk to another woman, bring your sister along, talk to the girl down the street, talk to somebody, talk to other women, put them up on game, because we were not put up on game. We were told to just study, and we were told to be submissive, and we were kind of bred to be pick-me's and not follow our intuition. And now we have got to do better by our fellow sister. Yes, I'm a bit fired up, but watch the next two videos. Support Shayna Condi. Like I said, I'll put her link in the video, in the comment section. I went over there, and if you all are followers of her and me, let her know, because I don't really know her. Let her know that she can come over to my comment section and let me know what I can do to help her out. All right, y'all. Here are the videos. Here lately, I have lots of women sharing their personal story times with me in my various inboxes. And this woman reached out to me to talk about an age gap relationship and how she was the cool girl. So she says, "Hi, Burb. I tried messaging you on TikTok, but it censored me. Anyways, I have a few thoughts to share. When I was 18, I was dating a 30-year-old man. Disgusting age gap and horrible toxic relationship aside, I just randomly remembered something. I was considered a cool girl by him, and because of that, he felt comfortable enough to share the horrid things him and his other male friends would do or talk about. And I remember a few instances of one. Him and his friends were discussing, if you want to bang and your wife is refusing, do you cheat on her or force yourself on her? He mentioned this to me and the nasty point of views they each had, and I was genuinely appalled. Another thing he told me about was when his friends went on a trip out of the country. They met up with underage girls and took them back to the hotel, but it was fine because they wanted it, and he wasn't disgusted by their actions and more. But my message is already too long. It wasn't too long, but she did type up some more. This next part could definitely be kind of triggering, so I'm just putting that warning out there. She says, I can remember a few more instances. When we did it for the first time, I bled and went to the bathroom. And when I came out, he had the condom on the dresser and was taking pictures of it to show his friends. He also showed my nudes to his friends and tried initiating a threesome, even though I kept refusing and was mad that he was showing his friends my private pictures, but he said it was because He was proud and wanted to show me off. The biggest thing I remember was when he was in high school, he was in a friend group with girls, as well as him and his best friend liked the same girl. She was bright and outgoing and funny, all of that. And his friend kept pressing the girl even when she didn't want him. He threatened to end himself if she didn't date him and kept on pestering her until she gave him the time of day. They got married, and my ex occasionally meets up with them, and he said she is a shell of herself now. She is a completely destroyed and exhausted stay at home wife, even though she studied to be an engineer. Her degree is just collecting dust, and he won't even let her go out to see her friends or family. My ex would talk about how his friend is so proud of the control and fear he instilled in her, and he brags about all the abuse he put her through. That is horrid. That is horrid. That is another reason why, women need to be aware of what happens when you give a man complete financial control and you're completely dependent on them. She says, Burb, I've been through so much in my life, but nothing had prepared me for this awful, awful relationship experience. She says, laughing my butt off, but that's not funny. And I know that that's just like nervous laughter. I had started therapy for the first time after I left him. It was that bad. I was like, this is one of the reasons why I hate these age gap relationships. And she says, I hate them as well, but I grew up around the Lana Del Rey, grunge, DDLG, Tumblr side of the internet. And what I was exposed to made me think that this was something to look for. So I went for it head first without much thought ahead. Looking back, I'm kind of grateful in a sense for that experience because I have truly learned my lesson. And I think seeing your page and other women on here speaking about what relationships should be and what's toxic and what signs to look out for, I hopefully will be much more smart with my next partner if I ever have one. I have completely decentered relationships from my life though. And whenever my friends speak to me about their relationships, I just can't relate. I've entirely shifted my whole mind away from any of that, thankfully. This part right here is so sad. How he says, my ex would talk about how his friend is so proud of the control and fear he instilled in her and brags about all the abuse he puts her through. Please know and understand how we are on two separate universes. This is one of the reasons why us feminists are all about getting your education, getting your career, being centered on yourself versus being centered on being a wife and mother, because relationships can go left and suck the whole life force out of you. I feel so bad for these wives and moms that go from a vibrant butterfly or flower to just dying a little bit inside, while these men are basically sucking you dry so that they can live longer. Um, yes, I am married. I'm a wife and a mother, but I do understand that my situation isn't going to always be other people's situations. And I talk about relationships because I want women to thrive and survive regardless of their marital status, because this isn't living. This isn't living. And we need to be okay with, we need to get some sense of survival, because this is not it. This is not how you want to raise your children. Join the conversation. Let me know what you think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. I think I did this story a week ago. I'll do it again because it's short. That way you don't have to go out and find it. I'm doing this because there is an update. She says, I want Christmas to be over so I can tell my husband I am moving out. She says, I was separated from my husband for about a year, and we decided to move back in together this past summer, and I've been unhappy ever since I came back. During our time apart, I went to therapy twice a week, worked on my mental health, communication skills, everything. All of my relationships have improved because of it, except my marriage still sucks. I was told if I changed, our relationship would change, and that was a lie. We don't fight, but we aren't intimate. There is no emotional connection, and I carry the mental load of the housework and childcare. I do the cooking, cleaning, shopping, etc. up until a month or so ago when I gave up. So I am moving out. But to preserve the holiday season for my toddler and husband, I have not made that announcement yet. I want to scream it from the effing rooftop, but I have to get through this holiday season. I just needed to tell someone. Here's the update. She says, the day after Christmas, I told my husband I was leaving. All of a sudden, he's willing to change everything to make me happy. He's saying he'll do individual counseling to work on his issues. He's saying all the things. I am so annoyed that it took me leaving to be willing to change. Why didn't he take me seriously when I cried and told him I was unhappy a couple of months ago? He is making me doubt my decision, which is the whole goal, right? I need to make a decision, but the confusion has set in. Can he change? Will the changes last? Is it worth it to keep working on this? Would it be easier to just start over with someone new? I don't know the answers to these questions, but we'll need to get my shit together and make decisions soon. Once again, just wanted to tell someone. Of course, he's trying to make changes, or at least say he's making changes. That does not mean that he is going to change. They can say anything. They're like, oh no, the house manager is leaving. The house manager has had enough, because, like she said, they're not intimate or anything. They're just roommates and existing. But I'm totally sure he's still getting more out of it than she's getting out of it. I hope that she does make the decision to leave. I just wanted to do this one so that we can know and understand that these women are done, that it's in their brain to leave. So many women are just simply checked out. It is wild how these stories just keep coming and coming quicker. And I think that these men are starting to really struggle with that. They want to be out, spreading their community peen out, and they want to be single, but they need a house manager because they have been used to someone managing their life for them. Anyways, let's check out some of these comments. Some of the comments. The Puzzler says, my abusive ex-husband asked me for a second chance and says some of the right things when I told him I wanted a divorce. My therapist asked me, if he truly did change in all the ways you wanted, even then, would you want to be with him? I realized, no, I wouldn't. Woodpecker says, I had the same realization. I don't even like him. Purple Flower says, when I looked at him across the room and realized that if I met him now, I wouldn't even date him, let alone marry him. I knew it was time to leave. Okay, Tradition says, this was the exact realization I had with my ex-husband that made me ask for a divorce. And now this woman, okay, Zookeeper Game, says this whole thread is like therapy. Now, you might not remember the name OK Zookeeper Game, but this is the woman who said that her husband told her that he was leaving, and she was so relieved. It was a very short post. She was like, I hope he's gone by the time I get home from work. She's through too. A lot of these women are just over it completely. iBrain says, I knew it was time to leave when I saw him up a ladder and wondered what would happen if he had an accident. Fahrenheit said, I had a similar experience and knew it was time to go. Made my exit plan and didn't look back. Best decision of my life. Turned out I didn't even like this person. A high price is put on love in Western culture. You can grow to love someone and grow out of love with someone, but liking them as a person has to be the lowest bar. If you you love someone but don't like them, get out. Yes, get out. If you no longer like your spouse, get out. You don't want to grow to be bitter and resentful. Relationships can end. Divorce is no longer stigmatized. Disentangle and get out. Reddit 3 says, yeah, good thing to get out before a paralyzing accident. Bill Sprout says, I have no shame. I would still leave after. Saw my aunt waste away her years stuck taking care of a shitty guy that she wanted to leave but felt she couldn't because of his accident. I wanted to get to this part. Upper Ape says, if they only change when forced, they aren't changing, they're performing. If you're not someone to grow with, you're an issue to deal with. That requires a second time reading. If they only change when forced, they aren't changing, they're performing. If you're not someone to grow with, you're an issue to deal with. That right there is some bars. This spinner of yarn says, even if it truly is a change, it's because they don't want to lose something they want. It's not because they care about you. If they did care, they would have improved earlier because they didn't want to hurt you. And then your girl's a mess says, yeah, it speaks volumes that watching OP cry didn't motivate him to change his behavior whatsoever. His behavior whatsoever. You can't love someone and continue to hurt them. And I'm going to end it there. Lots of conversations about women getting to that point of no return. Just so many women are not putting up with that tolerable level of permanent unhappiness. There are conditions, and when you are having the life force sucked out of you, you have got to go. All right, y'all. Join the conversation. Let me know what you think about these conversations. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.